Hello, guys. Welcome back to SWS Boxing. Delighted to be joined with Robbie Graham. He is 5-0 with one win by knockout, and he's the former Scottish welterweight champion. And yes, good to get you on, mate.
Yes, Sam, pleasure to be on today.
And my first question is your nickname Fearless?
No, that just basically means that describes who I am. So I'm fearless, humble, and respectful. But my nicknames, I get called Balboa. They used to call me Balboa back in the day. So we'll stick with that one, I think.
Mm-hmm. Um, yeah, my first question is, how did you get into boxing?
I trained as an amateur when I was 7, 8 year old, and I always liked the discipline, the structure, the routine that came with boxing. So from an early age, I trained as an amateur, and sort of pursued the career later on in life.
Mm-hmm. And did you have a big amateur career?
So I didn't fight amateur at all, believe it or not.
Oh, so did you have white collar or?
Correct. Yeah, I had 24 white collar fights, but given that I had lots of amateur experience based in an amateur gym, I was carded, but I just never ever actually fought as an amateur.
Oh, what? Why was that?
Inconsistency, my lifestyle, my parents breaking up, moving houses. It was always difficult. Try to. It's not by choice that I wanted to. I would have happily fought amateur, but it was given the circumstances that was going on in my lifestyle.
Oh, okay. Yes. Would you say you were a decent white collar fighter?
I thought I was okay. I wouldn't say decent, but everybody else that has commented on it saying that I had a lot of talent, a lot of heart, a lot of determination, and I can't disagree with that. I've always had the heart and determination.
So when you started boxing, was the dream always to turn pro?
100%, yes, from day one.
Mm-hmm. And you made your debut in 2022 in April against Gary Maguire,
Maguire,
is it?
correct, mate. Yeah,
And you beat him 40-36.
that's right. It was a points decision, so I dominated every single round. Gary's, very experienced up and down the country. After the fight, he said to me that was a great debut. And I couldn't disagree. I thought it went exactly how I wanted to.
Was there any nerves? I mean, going into your pro debut?
100%. People might say they're not nervous, but that's not me. Even if I was to fight Gary again, there's going to be nerves there because it's part of the program. It's part of being a boxer.
Mm-hmm. How would you rate your performance that night?
I've only seen the fight back once, so it's hard to say. But from what I remember, it was a great performance. It was aggressive. It was right from the first bell. Maybe sometimes I had to relax and just take my time, but that's a learning curve. It's a learning process.
Mm-hmm. And then you fought in June 22 against Seamus Devlin,
Correct. Yep,
39-37.
that's right. I jumped up 2 weight divisions to fight Sheamus. He's a history maker. He had the most fights up and down the country in a year.
Mm.
Great experience. The weight alone. To be fair, it was a tough fight. It wasn't a comfortable fight given the size of him in height and in weight. But I just stuck behind the jab. I done enough to win on points, and that was always the plan. People that don't understand boxing, they want knockouts and they want big punches. But if I was to do that, I would have put myself at risk.
It's all about the sweet science of boxing sometimes.
Definitely, yes.
What round, of course, it was 39-37 on the card. What round do you think they gave him?
The second round where my arm locked, I think. I went to go for a right hand, and as I brought it back, my arm sort of locked. And the referee was very, very close to stopping the fight. So I do believe it would have been that round. I think that was the second round.
What, so were you wobbled?
No, no, no. I said everything was okay. I was boxing to plan, and then it's like I went to throw a combination, and then my arm sort of locked. It was like a freak injury. I literally cannot explain it. I says to the referee, I need some time out, and he basically said to me, Robbie, if you don't continue, I need to stop this fight. And then straight away, I just went back to default, and it's like the injury just disappeared. Honestly, it was a freakish one.
Was it hard to fight with the injury after that?
It was a little bit. It was always in the back of my mind, but again, I put my heart and determination at the front foot of my mind, and I put that to the back. So
Hmm. And then you thought, well, it was a sort of tournament style sort of thing, wasn't it? And you thought Carl Boyd,
yeah,
another good prospect, and currently he is the Celtic and Scottish champion, I do believe, or Celtic and Commonwealth silver or something. And you beat
correct.
him,
Commonwealth silver, yeah.
yeah, you beat him 58-56. And in my opinion, what a fight that one was.
Do you think so?
It was a great fight.
I'm glad to hear that.
I've interviewed him a few times, and he thought that he won, and I imagine you think you won.
I won that fight. That was my fight.
How many rounds do you agree with the card 4-2?
I agree with the judges' scorecards. Yes, I thought they were absolutely spot on. Yeah, I've watched the fight back 15, 20 times, and I agree. I think the referee got it spot on.
Was it a tough fight?
I made it harder for myself, but in terms of was it tough because of Kyle? Absolutely not. Did not feel any of his punches. Yeah, he was sluggish. He was slow. He's got great foot movement, and he comes from that amateur background, which I knew that. I made the fight harder for myself. I do believe if me and Kyle were to meet again, I would knock Kyle out, and I've put that offer to Kyle and his team already.
Um, yeah. So do you want that rematch next, or
I'd love it. I would love it. I would love. I'll strip down to his weight division and I'll take his belts.
um, yeah. So not many people take like a 50-50 fight in their second fight, and not many people like take those big risks early on in their career, but you do. And hats off to you, Carl, and everyone who was in that tournament who took 50-50s, who and they were only like 3-3, 2-0, 4-0 sort of, weren't they?
Correct. Correct. That's correct, mate. Yeah. But the minute it was proposed to me, I was on holiday. I was on holiday with my family in Blackpool, and it was proposed to me through my coach. And straight away, I was like to my fiance, I need to start training. I need to go for runs. I can't really switch off when boxing's there. It's in my mind every day, every second. I knew it was going to be a tough fight, and throughout the whole training camp, Sam, they done what social media does, and they tried to rile me up and sort of upset me, and it worked. I'm not going to lie, it worked. But you know, you've seen the fight yourself. I won that fight. I was aggressive. I made it harder for myself, but Kyle knows himself I won that fight. And if there's any disputes, I'll rematch Kyle whenever he wants.
Hmm. And then you fought in November, and you got your first stoppage win, fourth
Yeah, against
round.
Marek Mlilowski,
Mm.
former Scottish champion. That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah, and you stopped him as well in round 4. That was your first knockout win. I mean, talk about that fight.
The fight, so I actually thought it was a boring fight. We were first out. We were first out in terms of the ball. The atmosphere was very, very quiet. There was no, it wasn't what I wanted. And I've watched the fight back again and again, and he couldn't cope with me. He couldn't cope with the fast-paced jab. Every time that he clinched me up, I was driving my shoulder to get him away. And you could see that Marek was just, he wanted to cuddle. And I've been told after the fight in November then that I was hitting him with some nasty body shots and he couldn't take it. And again, I agree. He couldn't handle my power.
At the end of round 3, did you feel like he was getting hurt and he was starting to tire out?
No,
So you don't think he was like hurt? You just in
no,
that round
no.
4, you weren't planning to take him out?
Absolutely not. No, I want. The plan was to go 6 rounds. I wanted to go 6 rounds, so I had no idea he was hurt or he couldn't cope. I generally thought the towel came in because I had done something wrong. I thought I was getting disqualified. That's what I believed.
So so were you a bit confused when it got stopped?
Correct. Yes, I had no idea what was going on.
And then how did you feel when, you got announced the winner?
I mean, I was happy, but I was more upset because all these guys, they pay money to come and see me fight. They want a great show. They want. I mean, I get it. They want knockouts, but for me, the most upsetting part was the atmosphere. There was no atmosphere, and the fact that it didn't go 6 rounds, that's what upset me the most.
I thought you would be happy with getting the stoppage.
No, don't get me wrong, I'm delighted that's on my record, but at that moment in time, at that moment in time, Sam, I wanted the 6 rounds, and I wanted rounds under my name, under my belt. You know what I mean? But given the nature now, I'll take the stoppage all day long. I'm delighted with that.
Mm. And then you fought 2023 March against Andrew Smart for the Scottish area welterweight title, and you won
Yeah,
97-94.
correct.
And was that the tournament final, that one?
So that the fight with Andrew was meant to be it was the final, yeah, and the winner who had won that fight was meant to challenge the Scottish champion, but he had vacated the belt to move to challenge for bigger and better. So the final became for the belt, for the title itself,
That was a
which would have
bonus.
suited me. Yeah, that would have suited me, Andrew, sponsors, coaches, trainers, 100%.
Mm-hmm. Talk us through the fight. So round one.
Right, as again, I've only watched the fight back a few times. I've not actually got the full fight, which is quite upsetting. But round one, I think I was just trying to feel him out, see how he would cope with my jab, with my body shots. I believe he struggled, and then so yeah, round one again, I thought it was quite comfortable for me, but very uncomfortable for Andrew, because I think he was expecting me to come out all guns blazing and to leave myself exposed, because that's what he said post pre-interviews, that he's watched my fights online.
Oh, you're back. You was on mute a minute ago.
Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Sorry, Sam. I got a phone call there. I had to decline it.
It's all right. Can you repeat what you said, because I couldn't hear you?
That's fine. So yeah, round one again went great. I think I dominated the centre of the ring with a jab. I was tapping to the body, and I think Andrew was a bit oblivious by this. He was like, "This isn't the Robbie Graham I expected. I expected him to come out all guns blazing and leave himself exposed." So I think after round one, as I says, when he's in the ring with me, he knows he's in for a fight, and I'll say that about any opponent. The minute that bell goes, they know they're in for a fight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so overall, happy with the performance, and of course 97-94. Do you think that was a bit closer than you thought it was?
It's a tough one because it's 10 rounds. It's half an hour in the ring. But I probably agree with that, Sam. I mean, I scored a knockdown in the second, which set the pace for the rest of the fight. And I actually went to the doctor afterwards, and I had a broken rib. So I think he knew he hurt me with a rib shot, because you can't hide pain. I was like, oh, he knew that. He could see it in my eyes. He could see I was struggling. But I think what amazed Andrew was the fact I kept going for 8 rounds. You know what I mean? But that's my heart and my determination. That's something I've had my whole life.
I mean, talk about the moment they announced you as the winner and the new
Oh,
Scottish welterweight champion.
you'll see there. That's my shots, man. I've got it. I've got them all framed. You know, it was electric. There was so many emotions, but I was so happy. I was overwhelmed. I couldn't believe it. I still don't think it's sunk in yet that I was the Scottish champion in 5 fights. It's an unbelievable achievement. And it's something that I can tell my kids, and then they can keep it in their memories, and then so forth and so forth. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. All these pictures behind you, like fights, like fight
Yeah,
photos and pictures of your
yeah.
shots.
You'll see, Sam. It's just that's my coaches. That's my cousin Margaret, who sadly passed away. My auntie Helen's last sort of days, and then you've got the match worn shorts for the title. That's when I was announced the winner on a different promotion, and then that's me and my manager Sam Kinnock. That's my trophy cabinet. I'm still in the process of doing it all. There's a wee white collar belt. All my shorts. That's my shorts for my next fight, Sam. And then there's my license and stuff. You know, just me keepsakes. You know what I mean? Every single shorts that I've worn in the ring. You know what
Do
I
you
mean? It's
keep your
just
gloves as well?
I keep my gloves, buddy. Yeah, I've got them all.
Were the gloves you just shown me, were those the ones you
Yeah. So these are the ones that I won the title in. These ones here, 8 ounce geezers, brilliant. So they're a memory, man. They're not going anywhere.
Hmm. What would you say has been your best performance to date?
Has to be Andrew Smart fight, 100%.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Um, what do you feel's next for you? And of course, you said before the interview you're trying to get out in May. Would
Yeah.
that be like a title fight or?
I think I'm leaving it to my coaches and obviously my manager. I think they're discussing things between the lines, but I had a gentleman agreement with Sam Kinnock that if I vacated the belt for someone else to challenge for it, then I was given the first opportunity. And I do believe Sam Kinnock's a man of his word. You know, I believe he's a genuine, real good manager. He's got my best interest. So I do believe it will be for the title again, the Scottish title. Who
Ben
it's
Barrett?
against? Sorry, say that again, buddy.
Is it Ben Barrett who's got the title?
Ben Bartlett, but he vacated. I heard that he had a long-term injury, so he had to
Oh,
vacate the title.
why did you vacate the title?
My mental health was spiraling out of control. I had so many emotions, and my auntie passing, my cousin passing. I couldn't deal with it. And the last thing that I wanted to do was fight because if I went in that ring, I don't know what would have happened.
Hmm. Um, so yeah, you talk about Ben vacating the belt.
Yep,
Um, do you know? Of course, that belt's now vacant, and
yep,
do you know who's in line as well? As you said, you're in line. Is there somebody
yes,
else who you're
yeah,
scheduled to fight?
yeah. So I've been told Paul Diaz. He was one of so there was me, Kyle Boyd, Andrew Smart, and Paul Diaz. That was the four men that made the tournament.
Wasn't that
So
the one Andrew Smart fought?
yeah, so Andrew Smart beat him in his semi, and Kyle Boyd's actually fought Paul Diaz as well. So only two people that haven't shared the ring is myself and Paul Diaz.
Hmm. What? So yeah. So what do you make of Paul as a fighter?
I think he's a great fighter. He's been in combat sports all his life. I respect Paul. I've got huge respect for him. I went up to Inverness to watch his final. We got a crack before and after his fight. We done training together up at Andrew Usher's science gym, for combat training. I believe it's going to be a tough fight. If it goes 6 rounds, 7 rounds, 8 rounds, 10 rounds, 12 rounds, I believe it's going to be. I think it's going to be my hardest test to date because he is a warrior. He is a warrior.
Hmm. What's the plan for this year? Of course, is it the Scottish title, maybe the Celtic you would like to get as well? What's your plan for this year?
One step at a time. So I'm purely focusing on my training right now, and then once the fight gets announced, I could lose. Paul Diaz could beat me. So what I mean that could go from there to there. So it's how you deal with it. So once I get this fight out of the way, then we'll look at it. It could be retirement. It could be a Celtic. It could be a British. It could be a Commonwealth. I've no idea yet.
Hmm. And how would you describe your fighting style to people who may have not watched you fight before?
As you said, fearless, humble, aggressive. That's it. I'm fearless and I'm humble. That's what stands out for me.
Hmm. And before I let you go, do you want to thank manager, trainers, sponsors, anybody who's
Yeah,
helping you on your journey?
100%. So again, we'll start with Sam Kinnock because he is the root to all this. He took me on when he gave me a 3-year contract. So again, a big thank you for that, Sam Kinnock. And again, the patience that you've shown throughout the last year. My long coach, Paul Barber, he's my friend, my best friend, my mate. Oh, he's my rock. You know me, he's my rock. I've got Meadowbank that I need to thank. John Barnett at Meadowbank. Sienna, amateur coach. An amateur fighter. Ryan Barber. All the guys that are in the gym because the guys inspire me and they push me even more. I've got Alistair Skeen at Skeen Transport Services. He's a great sponsor. David Love Property, again, one of my friends, David Love. In terms of sponsors, that is it. I only have the two. But you know what I mean? You could have 50 sponsors, but you only need the two that really care about you. So I've got the two. Thanks to my coaches, obviously thanks to yourself for interviewing me because again, that's keeping me motivated. That's keeping me switched on. And obviously, thanks for Paul Diaz as well for potentially accepting a 10-round fight in May. You know what I mean? He's got a family like me, so I appreciate that. You know what I mean? He puts his kids before. He loves his training like I do. And if the fight goes ahead of May with Paul Diaz, you know, we're going to give the fans a show. We're going to give it a really good go, and that's what's keeping me driving right now.
And from me, Robbie, thank you for your time and all the best in your next fight. And yeah.
Listen, Sam, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, Robbie. Bye.
Thanks, Sam. Take care, bro.